Welcome, Thunderbird Nation, to the Thunderbird Coaches Show. I'm Jon Smith. Joining me in the studio today, we have Fitzgerald, your head coach, and we have Lacarea Pleasant-Johnson in the studio. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us. Hey, before we get started, we need to recap the fiasco you just had trying to get that chair to right height.
It was a debacle.
Joke of the week.
Yeah.
How many Jon Smiths does it take to fix a chair?
Well, if it wasn't for Regan, the answer would be none. Yeah.
Let me interview you for a second. Let's switch this thing around.
Like it.
Hey, tell me about the golf game last week. How did we do versus? Everybody wants to know, how do we do versus the Scots?
It was the Friendship Cup. The score wasn't very friendly. We took care of business.
Okay.
The gentleman, in fact, we've got a bunch of listeners. We got 16 guys that listen to the show every week. So shout out to Team St. Andrews over there in Fife and St. Andrews and the surrounding areas.
How did you hit them?
Guys. I played really well.
Hit them straight?
Won the matches. It was incredible. Good time.
Fade was working. Draw was working.
Everything was doing okay. The putter was a little slow to get hot, but once it got hot, it was curtains.
I got a putter at home. I'll sell you. I got a really good one I can sell you. For those of y'all at home, I have an original Jon Smith putter.
We made and milled that putter, and he was one of the first ones to have one. And you putt pretty well with it, I'll say.
Yeah, for a layman, I guess.
For a layman, yeah. Look, gentlemen, we don't need to talk about my golf game. We all know Spencer's better than me, as was declared from this seat last week. He's not wrong.
I'm so disheartened to hear you just give it away.
He's good.
Just concede.
He is good. If we played,
I've never been more disappointed in you than I am right now.
Well, hold my water, because you're going to get even more disappointed in me later. But Spencer was right. He is better than me at golf. I know what I am and who I am. If we played like 10 times, Spencer would probably win 7 times. He's 20 years younger than me, Coach, and he can hit the ball out there, and he plays a little golf.
We wouldn't let him play on a team with us, will we? Hey, he couldn't play with us.
Absolutely not.
That's true.
You got to bring it.
I got to bring
You got to bring it.
Toughness, he says. This is going downhill for my brand. Let's move on to football.
Let's talk ball.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit of ball here. Thanks, by the way, to Spencer McLaughlin for sitting in last week. He did a great job. I know my hosting duties might be short-lived. He's a professional. So let's dig into the game. The recap, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Retro Fitness. T-Birds, if you're looking to keep it tight, Retro Fitness is your spot. You're trying to get ripped, stay healthy, get your body in shape. Head over to Retro Fitness, grab a membership over there, and keep fit. Great atmosphere for the home opener, Coach. Shout out to Marie Tuitt and her group. They did a really great job of setting things up for us. UC Davis unfortunately came in and took the win, 24-21. But incredible atmosphere. The T-Birds were up. Everything was good. Let's talk a little bit about our loss 24-21 to the UC Davis.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about this guy next to you.
There we go.
It was a great start.
Cool.
Yeah, we kicked the ball off right. What do we have? 4 plays. They got a first down. They're moving the ball. Tell us what happened on that play, Lacarea.
So Coach Kellen just called a great call, put me in cloud coverage, 2 to the boundary. So just play my keys. As soon as I look at the quarterback, he looks off 1, looks off 2, and he throws it. And I just trusted myself. I feel like I prepared and practiced pretty good. And I just played the ball. And when I caught it, I just felt good to put the boys on the scoreboard first. And shout out to the guys, and shout out to Walker Harris. So
put a little pressure.
And all the guys up front.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it felt good though, and went to the house with it.
Yeah, you did. Bet, how did that make you feel? Like, was it like, were you jumping out of your skin, man? Like, what's it feel like to get the pick 6 in front of that crowd?
I mean, it felt real good, and for that to be my first pick 6, like in real life when the bullets are flying, it felt real good. Just the coaches obviously trust me, and they put me out there to make plays. So it really felt amazing. And I wear number 31 because my mom passed away. So to get in the end zone, she passed away at that age. So to get in the end zone, it felt good. And
that's special.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely, that's special, man. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Definitely.
It was
my prediction, not your last pick six.
Agreed.
So,
for sure.
Yeah, not
Agreed.
your last one this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So the game starts off just how you want it. Your score on defense right away. Tell us. Just give us the lay of the land on what UC Davis was about on their offense and their defense, and let's just go through it.
Yeah, give credit where credit's due. Really good football program. I think they're ranked 13th this morning, if I saw the polls right. 13 in one, maybe 14 in the other. So they're top 15 in the country. Well coached. Obviously, their weight room is good because all their kids are really stout. Anyway, well coached. Their off-season conditioning, strength and conditioning is pretty good. Smart young men that execute the play design on offense, defense, and special teams for them, John. I'll sum it up for you this way. Played well enough to win on defense. Anytime you give up less than 25 points, you played well enough to win on defense.
Yes.
We gave up 24 points, scored 7 on defense, so we played more than well enough to win on defense. Didn't do enough on offense, and then we were atrocious in special teams on Saturday night. But post-game interview, I was pretty disappointed in the way we played. I knew we had not played well on offense and special teams. I didn't know how bad the special teams were until I went back and watched the film. But just young men not executing their assignments, not executing the play call on our side, and you're playing against a team that executes all the time.
Right. And you know this is just a recap of stating the obvious maybe, but you can't shoot yourself in the foot. There were some penalties at the wrong times. Well, not that there's ever a good time to have a penalty, kind of drive killers. But the reality is they really did out execute the T-Birds Saturday night.
Running around, got NFL running back, but running around with a pro at the running back position, and he's a special player. Good young man can play, and he's tough as nails.
Yeah.
That turn around on the defensive side and got an NFL defensive end. But boy, is he big now. Big and long and strong, and does his assignment really, really well. Those two kids really, really impressed us. But how well they play together as a team and stick together. We got the better of them in the first half, and then we got the better of them in the fourth quarter. That's also. Right. But they never unravel. They never fray. Just kind of stay together and keep chugging along.
Yeah, let's talk about first half we're up. What was it, 14-6? They scored. They did kind of get that field goal kind of going into halftime. We got the ball in the third quarter. Didn't really do much with it. And then they rattled off 18 straight in the third. That was obviously the
John,
difference
we didn't
of the
do
game.
much on offense the entire game.
Yeah.
Not very good up front, not very good at tight end position. The lone bright spot might have been, how hard Targy ran on Saturday night, and he's playing really well right now. Wants the football and wants it in crucial situations, and you like to see that.
Yeah, I did. He did go for 149 yards in rushing. And this year, that's kind of the tale of the tape. We've been running the ball really well, not passing the ball so great. The passing game still has a little room for improvement. I'm sure you guys are on that and looking at ways to do that. I noticed you did play 2 quarterbacks in the game. You had Jackson Berry going early, and he did a nice job there. And then Bronson Barron came in second half into that. Tell us a little bit about what goes into those decisions, and what did you see? What did you like from both quarterbacks?
Just thought it was time. We're no huddle. We have weapons we have weapons at running back, at tight end, at wide receiver that I didn't think were being utilized. We had gone 3 quarters and scored 7 points on offense, getting ready to go into the fourth quarter, and just thought it was time for a change.
Yeah. Ultimately, the game came down to the last seconds. Right, we're driving with the ball. Unfortunately, things ended with the interception, and that was the ball game. But man, you got to love the fight. I mean, they came back. They gave you everything they had. Didn't quite execute up to snuff there, but
I don't mind that. I don't mind that viewpoint and all that. People go, hey, that last drive. What you don't understand is you're going to get 15, 16 drives during the game.
Yeah.
The last drive is no more important than the first drive.
Exactly
we didn't score on the first drive. The last drive is no more important than the first drive of the second half that we didn't score on. They're all of the same importance.
Yeah. Yep. And you talked about special teams. Look, we got a punt blocked. We missed a field goal.
Three straight games we've missed a field goal.
Yeah, you look at those points that were given up off of those, and I mean, there's the game, right? You talked about the emphasis.
It's a little more to it than that.
Sure.
Yeah, a little more to it than that. But we weren't good on kickoff. We weren't good on punt. We weren't good on punt return. We weren't good on PAT field goal. That there's stuff to be desired there.
Sure.
I talked about some of our offensive flaws. We flip over on the defensive side of the ball and didn't get enough pressure on the court. I could go on and on about what we didn't do, but didn't get enough pressure on the quarterback. Our coverage is not tight enough. We've got to tighten up coverage this week versus the team we play. But, John, that's why we practice. We had a good day of film and practice yesterday, and then we're going to go about it all week. We're going to practice well. We're going to get better. Our best opportunity to get better from last week to this week is on that practice field this week, and we're really going to get after it.
Yeah. I have some notes here about the offense. Obviously, Targi ran all over him, 149 yards. That's great. We talked about the troubles in the passing game. We got to get the ball to the playmakers, like you said. And man, defense LPJ. We got a 59-yard pick six. And by the way, you came up in the run and played some really good football there as well.
Yeah.
Great defense. Other than the third quarter, I'm not sure what happened, but we had Parker Andrus get a sack. Connor Cullimore was in the backfield. We sacked the quarterback 3 times. I mean, that's decent pressure. We missed a couple, too. I mean, we had him in the grasp, and he snuck out of there. Man. I mean, that's life. That's why we play the game, right?
We let an opportunity get away.
Sure.
You ready to move on now?
Yeah, I am.
Thank you.
I am. I'm sure you are, too. Okay, let's go ahead and close that chapter. And we got a great segment, Visit Cedar City, Brian Head, Student Spotlight. Student Spotlight today is Lacarea Pleasant-Johnson, known around campus as LPJ. Welcome to the show, young man.
Thank you.
Let's get to know you a little bit. Let's tell us where you're from, and then how you became a T-Bird.
Yeah, so I'm from Yakima, Washington. About 3 hours east of Seattle. Big family. Moved to Arizona. My mom got sick, so I moved to Arizona with my grandmother. And I was fortunate to go to Mountain Point High School. And shoot, my first offer was Florida, and it just moved on from there. And so then I got a offer from Utah and the Utes or whatever, and I went there and played 3 years there, injuries here and there. And my turnaround coming to Utah was or Southern Utah was I spent a year at UNLV, and I ran into Coach Chima. He was an analyst there. Very grateful for that, or else I wouldn't, have gotten that pick six
That's right.
the other night.
Yeah.
But I met Coach Chima. Fortunately, it didn't work out. UNLV coaching staff changed.
Yeah.
That's just how stuff goes, in
right.
this business.
That's football.
Right. I entered the portal, and Coach Chima said, "Hey, come play for me. If you work your tail off, you'll play." And I had no offers at the time, and I was in the UNLV facility. Coach Fitz, he gave me a call, and I told him a little bit about me. He said he's going to offer me a full-ride scholarship, and that was my first, offer out of, the second time out of the portal.
Right.
And so, obviously, it's a no-brainer. They showing love. I'm coming home.
Yeah.
So that's how I came to Cedar City.
Man, that's awesome. Well, we're grateful. You had a long journey to get here.
Definitely.
The recruiting process early, and then the University of Utah down to UNLV, and now here at Southern Utah. You got I-15 covered from north to south. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I noticed, look, I'm around the program a little bit. I would come in and check out the preseason workouts. I noticed you were working really hard and getting after it. How has that preparation helped you this season so far?
That preparation definitely got me to where I am now. Coach Fitz kept it 100 with me going to the spring. He said, LPJ, I'm gonna need the best out of you. I'm gonna bring a couple guys in. You're gonna have to work your tail off to continue to prove yourself. And I took on the challenge. I had big talk, with my family, and I told him, hey, Coach Fitz kept it 100. And, I'm a God-fearer man, and I never, shied down from any challenge. And so as soon as, Coach Fitz told me I'll still have an opportunity to play or start or whatever you want to call it,
yeah, I
took the challenge on. And, I'm forever grateful for that. And him giving me a chance to, get my second degree, man. I can't thank him enough.
That's
I always
awesome.
tell him that, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, we're, speaking of degrees, tell us a little bit about what you've been studying in school so far.
Okay, so I went to UNLV, or Utah, then UNLV. I got my bachelor's in sociology.
Awesome.
At UNLV, and now I'm getting my second degree in business of sports broadcasting.
Sports broadcasting.
Yeah, man.
You got the voice, man. I like it.
Yeah, thank you. So I know Steiny a little bit. I was in his class, and he helped me out.
Got it.
Just being more vocal, using diaphragm when I'm talking, and so I got to take the out, but I'll work on it.
So far, so good, man. What do you want to do after football? After whatever ends up happening, what does it look like for you after football? What do you want to do?
Yeah, man. So after football, I want to be able to launch a profit organization. It's going to be called the Lacarea Pleasant Foundation. And after my mother, and what that is going to be is we're going to in the month of January, since her birthday's in January, we're going to be finding a kid who lost their mother to cancer, specifically around the age 10 to 12. And whatever they need, obviously we're gonna have a camp. But if they don't have a car, or if it's home, that whole month of January we're gonna be helping them out.
Man, that's awesome.
And so
a nonprofit, like a charity setup.
Nonprofit, yes,
absolutely,
yeah, definitely. And just really giving back and enlarging my territory. I feel like that's what I'm called to do. Other than football, it's not who I am. It's just what I do for now.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, I'm going to be glad to do that.
Keep my number. Hit me up when that happens.
I got you.
Let's see. You've been in Cedar City now. Is this the second year?
Yeah, this is my second year.
So you've been here a little while. What do you like about Cedar City?
So first off, I want to shout out Hermes.
Hey.
Hermes is a real good burger.
That's our spot too.
Me and Coach go to Hermes all the time.
I get the double cheeseburger meal, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also like hiking the sea.
Yep.
I go with Jackson Berry. I go with Target Lamps, and I went with those guys a couple times. And then obviously in the summer you can kind of go 20 miles down. I forget the little next city, but it's
like down there, Canaryville.
Yeah.
Harmony.
Yeah, and I what is it? Sand Hollow.
Oh yeah.
Real beautiful. And then Cedar City is just safe, man. I don't even have to lock my door at night. I forgot one morning, and there's no problem.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about Cedar. And then playing football.
Yeah. And people recognize you, I'm sure. They treat you okay?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. They probably see you in Hermes. You probably got your own spot there. I like it.
I actually got a little. I hooked my the corners up, my boys up, and my coach. It's a Spanish Hispanic spot called Frescas and Frijoles.
Oh yeah.
And I took care of my guys, and so I got a little bit of some stuff going on in here in Cedar. Positive.
Good positive vibes. Man, that's awesome. Let's wrap up this segment by telling us your favorite quote or lesson that you learned from either Fitz or Chima or what from your coaches. You got a favorite quote that they got you, or a favorite lesson that they've taught you?
I could definitely say like
on air.
I could definitely say like the non-quit mentality.
No quit.
Like my guys, whoever watching this, we're gonna go. We're gonna keep pounding, and that's what it is really in life.
Yeah.
And nobody's really gonna feel sorry for you. And Coach Fitz harps that a lot. And I definitely think Coach Fitz definitely instilled more toughness in me this second year around. He told me, hey, start wrapping up. I'm wrapping up, making tackles. And so, yeah.
I love it. Man, we're so glad your journey ended up here in Cedar City. You're a great part of the community. Obviously a great athlete on the field, but a great part of the community and this university. So we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Coach, That was our Visit Cedar City Bryan Head Student Spotlight. We appreciate the sponsorship from the Visit Cedar City and Bryan Head folks. It's an amazing, beautiful place. Come on down and visit Cedar City. We head up I-15 this week. We're headed up to Pocatello, Idaho to tilt against the Bengals of Idaho State up in Holt Arena. Did a little research. They are one of them cats. They are the Bengals. And it's in kind of a dome vibe. Interesting place to play.
Yeah.
I have been up there before, and you'll get the experience. It's an interesting place to play. Pocatello kind of holds a special place in my heart. That's where my beautiful wife was born and brought into this earth, Bannock County, right there in Pocatello, Idaho. This segment, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to preview the Idaho State University Bengals. It's brought to you by Warehouse Bar Plus Kitchen. Delicious food, craft cocktails, exciting environment. Look, if you're 21 plus, go down to the Warehouse Bar Plus Kitchen and enjoy yourself. What can we expect from the Bengals, Coach? What do they look like, and give us an idea, kind of schematically, what they like to do?
Yeah, well-coached football team, getting better each and every week. Cody Hawkins, son of Dan Hawkins, is the head coach there, and got to meet Cody a year and a half ago at a coach's clinic, and just really enjoyed the conversation with him, doing the right things there on and off the field with those young men and for those young men, but got a lot of respect for that coaching staff, and we've done battle against a couple of them in the past, the coaches on there, so we know that they're good football coaches. John, they play extremely hard. They got a no-quit attitude. Defensively, they're an odd front. We've had weeks here where we didn't play well against odd fronts, and that scares us here. They fly around on defense, 2 defensive ends that play really hard, and 2 linebackers and some DBs that are running around and running to the ball, and that's a concern of ours. Flip over on the offensive side of the ball, and that, I guess they would consider themselves air raid or run and shoot.
Yeah, they like to throw it a lot.
One or the other. Very similar to what Utah Tech was the last 2 years, but they're throwing the football all around the yard. Been through a couple of quarterbacks, a handful of quarterbacks this year so far. Seem to have settled on one last week, and the young man's a good football player, so we've got to be aware of him. But John, for first week this year, no tight ends. No tight ends, and they're 4 and 5 wide, and out of that, they do a nice job of running the football, but they really scare us throwing the football. So we've got to be ready for that. And I can't say enough good things about them, but I think it's a football program on the rise, and I think they're going to get better each and every week. They were down a bunch of points. They were down a bunch of points to North Dakota last weekend and scored like the last 28 points of the game, or scored 28 points in the last quarter and a half of the game, played really, really well at the end. So they're coming into this week with some momentum.
Yeah, speaking of Utah Tech, Kobe Tracy, I think, was their quarterback. And then he got relieved of duties in that game against North Dakota. Yeah. And then this other kid, I can't remember his name.
Don't know if he was pulled or if he got injured.
He might have got injured.
Took some hits.
Yeah.
In that football game. 2 of their starting offensive linemen are starters from Utah Tech the last couple of years.
I see.
So there's some familiar foes.
Okay, got it. And then as far as I mean, the young man came in and threw 200 and some odd yards and 4 touchdowns. So he definitely grabbed his moment.
And rushed for a bunch of yards also.
Yeah, he was their leading passer and rusher.
He's Idaho State, true and true. He's a Bengal. If I'm not mistaken, his father played there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so a little bit of a legacy thing there. But big player. He's 6'4" and 2 1/4-ish, and runs the ball well and throws it well.
So outside of that, they love to throw the football so much. Is it a little like looking in the mirror? I mean, they look to me like they have a lot of like no quit attitude. They play really hard. It just seems to me like very similar in our not necessarily in the way we play the actual schematics, but the way we play football seems the same.
Their mentality, I see what you're saying there. Their mentality is a lot the same as our mentality. Yeah. Looking in the mirror, no. We don't do anything on offense alike, and we don't do anything on defense alike. Yeah, not a lot of similarities in the X's and O's of our 2 football programs.
Yeah. Man, I mean, what is the game plan? I mean, we've obviously got to stop the pass. we got LPJ here and the DBs that have been doing a decent job so far this year, but they're going to have to be on their toes, aren't they?
Our defensive backs, linebackers, our entire pass defense has to tighten up coverage. If we don't, they're going to have people run loose all day long.
Yeah. Other keys offensively, what do we got to do against their defense? Obviously not giving anything away, but what do you see that you like for us offensively?
John, the key to this football game is we have to score at least one more point than they score over a 3-hour period on Saturday night.
Thank you for that. That was very, very poignant. But we're not going to give anything away on the show.
Hey, get in there, get lucky, and collect a safety, and get out 2-0.
Got it. 2-zip. I like it.
2-zip.
Those are the black and blue game. 2-zip. That's Thunderbird Nation. Coach says 2-0. That would bring us to kind of the end of the show here. Coach, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give, or any other comments or anything you want to say about Idaho State?
A shout out to you for gracing us with your presence this morning.
Shoot.
We all feel privileged.
For sure.
How about my man, Uncle Dave? Got to see Uncle Dave.
Yeah.
And Brian Wood. Got to see them on Saturday night. That's good. Former player Chris Harper, who I coached at Southern Virginia, him and his wife live in Phoenix, and they drove up. Means a lot to me when the former players show up here. But it was good to see Chris and his wife and his son. Cool kid. But getting to see them this weekend was good.
Adorable kid.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Great kid. Yeah, great
so
kid.
cute.
Well behaved. I wish I'd have done as good a parenting job. Yeah. My brother's trying to set land speed records from Los Angeles to Cedar, and he's timing himself each time and beating his time.
I love Joe.
The state troopers are getting ready to have a good time with him in Nevada. But Joey was up for the weekend. Great to see him. And then my dad flew in, and anybody that's made the trip from the East Coast here understands that it is an all-day trek.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not just a flight. And then Tim and Barbara Feldman, and Tim's one of the all-time greats and a Hall of Famer at Frostburg, but him and Barbara here this weekend, and it was nice to see them and spend some time. John, there's always a little feeling of guilt when you're working, but because we work a whole lot on the weekend, so people come in and wish you could have spent more time with them, but it was great to see all of them that I just mentioned.
Yeah, awesome. LPJ, got shout-outs? Anybody at home or anyone around you want to shout out on the show?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to my grandmother, just stepping up.
What's your grandmother's name?
Lacarea Pleasant.
Okay.
And I love you a lot. And then my little brother and sister, John and Xavier, keep going. Make sure you do good in school. And then my guys, just my guys on the football team. Shout out y'all. Let's go.
Cool. Yeah, let's go. Hey, this week, right?
Exactly.
We ripped the rear view mirrors off. We look forward, and we get after the next one. So I got a couple shout outs. I want to shout out Marie Tuitt. She was just popped in here earlier. She did a great job with that game atmosphere. The student section had changed around, and I was a little skeptical, but they really showed out, and I think they caused a little issue for the visiting team. Yeah, that was really cool. And then they got the new suites down in the south end zone. They looked amazing. I was able to partake over there. It was a good time. Really
need to thank Eric Levitt for that one.
Absolutely.
That's his idea.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Yep.
Yeah,
Eric
Eric's
and Mark.
idea.
Yep. And we
big. You mentioned it, so you ring a bell in my head. Hey, big shout out to Cedar City and our fans on Saturday night. Packed this stadium. So I don't know if I saw an empty seat in the stadium, but the students were great. The fans were great.
Yeah,
definitely.
We got to capture that atmosphere every week because it's a massive plus for the team. My last shout outs were the SEU student body. And Cedar City as a whole came out and really supported. Let's not be fair weather fans. Let's get after it. Even if there's a loss or a win, let's push these boys over the finish line as best we can. And they did that this weekend. Also, Regan Hunsaker.
Regan's starting to get too much credit.
You don't want to get. Hey, you're not a fan of blowing anybody's ego.
We're
gonna start tearing you down now.
All Regan does is produce and direct and write and do the edits, and that's all he does for the show.
He's got a lot of work to do
today.
All
he does for the show.
Yeah,
appreciate you, Regan.
Yeah,
Regan's biggest job is probably putting up with us through text message.
Oh my gosh,
your tolerance is phenomenal, my man.
Yeah, no, he's the best. Anyway, so for Lacarea Pleasant-Johnson, Coach Delane Fitzgerald, I'm Jon Smith signing off. Go Thunderbirds.
Go Thunderbirds.
Go Thunderbirds.